Hey everyone, Alex here. In this breakdown, we'll dive into a track by Nasco using sounds from the Dubstep expansion from Pigments 7. A sound bank centered around high-impact bass design, explosive wobbles, and laser-style leads. We'll take a closer look at how each sound is used musically, how it was put together inside Pigments, and how all the elements interact within the arrangement. Let's start by listening to an excerpt to the track. The intro section of this track is divided into a few elements that all work together to create an exciting build-up. Instead of presenting one big idea, the build-up relies on several complementary layers: bass movement, laser accents, two complementary melodic lines, and a pair of pre-drop bass hits that raise the tension bar right before the drop. Let's break them down one by one. The first sound to discover in the build-up uses a preset called Progeny Lead. This is a mono lead with a distorted, almost guitar-like character, gritty, aggressive, and very direct. Much of its tone comes from layered distortion effects, which transform the lead into something closer to an overdriven electronic riff. It brings a more melodic contour into the build-up, but still stays firmly in the rough, high-energy aesthetic of the expansion. The next sound we'll focus on uses a preset called Trapped, providing a contrasting melodic layer. Where Progeny Lead is gritty and guitar-like, this preset goes for a big room festival trap lead vibe, bright, clear and bold. It's built from the analog engine, shaped by the Rage filter and reverb filter, and can be fine-tuned with timbre and diffuse to hit formant-style sweet spots. Together, Progeny Lead and Trapped form a melodic duo, one rough and distorted, one polished and wide, creating motion and anticipation before the heavier bass elements appear. Then there's a preset called Unison Rhythm, which delivers the intro bass line for the build-up. It brings that classic dubstep wobble, bright, forward, and packed with movement. It doesn't lurk in the background, it pushes the energy right from the start. The patch is built from two wavetable engines running through two comb filters, and its distinctive edge comes from an effects chain with three different distortion stages, unison processing and multiband compression. This all works together to create a bass that feels sharp and forceful, immediately anchoring the track's attitude. It lays down the foundations of the build-up, energetic but still spacious enough to leave room for the other elements that follow. Growing in size, the build-up also includes a preset called Pew Pew, which introduces the laser-style lead. This patch excels at short bursts of notes, creating quick flashes of excitement across the build-up. The dirt parameter adds extra distortion, while the reverb filter contributes a noisy, airy character that gives the laser its animated and slightly humorous edge, a classic dubstep trick that keeps the build-up fun and unpredictable. It slices through the intro bass with sharp, high-frequency gestures, giving the build-up immediacy and motion. The next sound introduced by the build-up uses a preset called Scream Sequence. This is a heavy, resonant, distorted bass sequence shaped by MS-20 filter characteristics. Not designed to be melodic, but to punctuate the build-up. It appears in short hits, functioning like structural markers that break up the melodic layers and signal that the drop is approaching. Its saturated tone gives weight to the upper lows and primes the listener for the incoming shift. Final sound rounding out the build-up uses a preset called Ear Piercer. This patch has a unique trait. Each note triggers a different formant, making even the shortest hits feel varied and attention-grabbing. The tone relies heavily on the lo-fi filter, which introduces that gritty digital bite. It's intentionally brief and sharp, designed to deliver that one spark of energy right before the drop hits. Dubstep drops thrive on controlled chaos, short bursts of intense bass patterns, each with their own movement, modulation, and attitude. Instead of one bass playing a melody, you often get a rapid collage of re-hits, wobble licks and substabs, and formant swipes, each occupying just a moment in the groove. This drop reflects exactly that. Fast-paced, loud, and textured, with each bass fulfilling a distinct role in the rhythmic puzzle. The first sound in the drop section uses a preset called Partial Blaster. It launches the drop with a bright, synthetic, high-impact hit, the kind of sound that signals unmistakably that the track has arrived at full intensity. Its aggressive, high-end content helps it cut through the mix and mark the downbeat in the drop. Carrying the next phase of the drop is a preset called Hyper Scream. This bass brings strong wobble movement and powerful low-end energy. It's bright, forceful, and rhythmically flexible, making it ideal for alternating with other short bass gestures. This sound provides the main drive of the early drop section and holds the momentum until the next tonal shift. Another key element in the drop uses a preset called the main hook. Instead of adding more aggression, this patch contributes a rhythmic formant-style layer, creating a vocal-like texture that is shaped by a cluster filter, as well as FX EQ modulations. The preset runs in the background and connects the heavier bass hits. If you notice, this preset appears in the drop in 3 versions with minor tweaks, creating a screechy lead and a bass shot at the end of the first part of the drop. It rounds out the drop by adding shape and contour rather than raw power. The final major bass in the drop is based on a preset called Sinkhole. This is a heavy, textured reese with a controllable pulsing motion. Its dense tone takes over the second half of the drop, pushing the energy further and giving the section a sense of progression rather than repetition. It's the sound that carries the drop towards its final transition. And that wraps up the breakdown. The dubstep expansion brings together high-impact basses, animated leads, resonant FX sequences, and short formant splashes, all blended to create a track that's fast, aggressive, and packed with sonic personality. Explore these presets in Pigments, tweak their modulation controls, and experiment with stacking them in your own dubstep-style arrangements. Thanks to Nasco for creating the track, thanks for watching, and see you next time.